So, you're a new graduate in India. You've got the degree, but there's this nagging question, right? Are you really ready for what comes next? Well, what if I told you the answer isn't in another classroom, but out there on the open road?
You know that feeling, right? That little bit of panic? It's that huge gap between all the theory you crammed in college and, well, the messy, unpredictable reality of an actual job. And hey, it's a totally normal thing to feel anxious about, and for a very good reason.
Okay, and here's the real kicker. Our universities, they're fantastic at churning out technical experts. But employers, they're screaming for something more. They're looking for people with what some folks call transversal competencies. Basically, it's all the stuff that's hard to teach. Resilience, being able to adapt on the fly, and just knowing how to connect with different kinds of people. That's the gap we're talking about. So the big question is, how on earth do you learn that stuff? The answer is kind of wild, but it's also incredibly simple. What if you turned the entire country of India into your classroom? Seriously, we're talking about using immersive travel right here at home as this powerful tool to fill that skills gap. And look, this isn't some crazy new idea. There's actually a really powerful precedent for this. It's called the Bharat Darshan. This thing is legendary. It's this mandatory, super intense 7-week nationwide tour for India's top civil service officers, the IAS. And the whole point? To build a deep, practical, on-the-ground understanding of the country they're about to govern. They treat travel as a serious educational tool. And you know what? It works. It's incredibly effective for a few key reasons. First, it just shatters those regional bubbles we all live in. Second, it shows you how all that policy stuff you read about actually works in the real world. And finally, it takes that cliché, unity in diversity, and makes it something you can actually feel and see. And that exact same logic, it applies 100% to any graduate getting ready for their career. All right, so let's get down to brass tacks. What are you actually going to learn out there? Let's start with part one, the economic classroom. This is where you learn about business, not from some dusty textbook, but from the ground up. Okay, get ready for your whole perspective to shift. Just look at these numbers. They completely blow up the urban-centric bias that, let's be honest, most of us have. Nearly half of all motorcycles, 49%, and 46% of soft drinks are sold in rural India. That's staggering. It's this huge wake-up call that the real economic engine isn't just in the big cities. And you just can't get that from a spreadsheet. You have to see it. And when you're out there, you'll see this sachet economy everywhere. You know, these tiny single-use packets of shampoo, coffee, everything. It's an absolute masterclass in bottom-of-the-pyramid economics. You start to understand the daily cash flow, the purchasing decisions of millions of people. I'm telling you, no business school case study can give you that kind of raw, powerful insight. Okay, so it's not just about economics. The road is also a real-life innovation lab. When you travel through India, you get exposed to this completely unique and powerful way of solving problems. You've probably heard the word Jugaad. And let's be clear, it's way more than just a quick fix or a hack. It's a whole philosophy. It's this frugal, super flexible, and inclusive way to solve problems. It's about finding opportunity when things get tough and doing way more with way less. It's innovation born from pure necessity. And once you know what to look for, you see it everywhere. I mean, look at these examples. The medical fridge, it's a refrigerator made of clay that runs with zero electricity. How cool is that? Or the world-famous Jaipur foot. It's a prosthetic limb that costs about $50 compared to a Western one that could be $10,000. These aren't just clever tricks. This is world-class, frugal, user-focused engineering. And that really gets to the heart of it. This is the big lesson. The Jugaad mindset flips the script. It teaches you that constraints aren't roadblocks, they're actually what sparks creativity. If you want to be an entrepreneur, an engineer, a creator of any kind, that lesson is absolutely priceless. All right, but the lessons go even deeper than business or innovation. The journey itself. Think of it like a psychological gym. It's a workout for your brain, building up the mental hustles you are absolutely going to need for your whole career. Think about it. Your train is 8 hours late. You're in a village where you don't speak a word of the language. You took a wrong turn and now you're lost. Each of those is a micro adversity. And what happens? You don't have a choice. You have to face it, adapt, and figure something out. And every time you do that, you're building this thing called self-efficacy. It's that quiet, core belief that, yeah, I can handle this. It's literally real-time resilience training. And communication skills, oh man. When you can't just rely on words, you learn to really communicate. You have to listen with your eyes, you have to read body language, you have to connect on this basic human level. And let me tell you, that skill, it's pure gold, whether you're working in a two-person startup or a giant global company. Okay, so I'm hoping you're at least a little bit convinced by now. But the question is, how do you actually do it? How do you make this happen? Let's get practical. Let's talk about the plan. So you basically have two main options here. Path number one is the classic DIY backpacker. This is all about total freedom, figuring things out on your own, and building some serious self-reliance. Path number two is a more structured fellowship. This gives you a bit of a roadmap, some financial support, and a great professional network from day one. And don't think that DIY path is some impossible dream. It's actually way more doable than you might think. Thanks to India's amazing network of hostels and sleeper trains, you can comfortably travel across the country for about 30,000 rupees a month. That's it. Now, if you're leaning towards more structure, there are some absolutely incredible options out there. For example, the Gandhi Fellowship is amazing for learning systems thinking. The SBI Youth for India program is a deep dive into project management and resilience. And then there's the Jagriti Yatra, this epic 15-day train journey that's all about entrepreneurial inspiration. And the best part, a lot of these actually pay you a monthly stipend. Okay, so let's talk about the big one. The payoff. After all this, what's the real return on your investment? How does all this, backpacking, actually translate to the boardroom? It's actually pretty simple. An experience like this is proof. It's tangible proof that you have all those soft skills that employers are desperate for, but have no idea how to teach. We're talking about real independence, a natural curiosity, and the guts to take a calculated risk. And on a personal level, it often gives you the clarity to figure out what you really want to do with your life. And here's the bottom line, the thing you can take to the bank. Imagine a hiring manager looking at a stack of 100 resumes. They all look the same degrees, same grades. But then they see yours, and it says something like, completed a 3-month solo survey of rural supply chains. Which one do you think they're going to remember? An experience like this tells a story about you, a story of initiative and grit that no GPA can ever tell. So here's the final thought I want to leave you with. Before you step into that first office, maybe step onto a train. Because the lessons that are going to truly shape your career, and honestly your whole character, they're probably not waiting for you in a cubicle. They're out there. The ultimate finishing school isn't a building. It's India itself.